and if Fizz can get into the backline, he will absolutely wreak havoc. Over on the other side of the Unicorns, a very late game focused solo lane setup here with Ryze, with Cassiopeia, who are going to scale and actually fulfill basically the same role in team fights here. There is a lot on Vardags in the mid game to get them through this game and give them the better late game.
Something that we do not see from UOL is that tank. Ryze at the moment is building AP, is building very much burst, as you actually mentioned in that last week Telestrator segment, Stress, the Ryze and Cassio fulfill similar roles. I want to see how Vardags handles his positioning, because I do feel there's not a lot of peel for him necessarily. Ryze wants to run in, Cassio wants to run in, so hopefully they can wave dangerous flags scarily enough to keep the rest of Origen off of Vardags.
Very much so. And, you know, honestly, the Unicorns love to be dragged into skirmishes, so Origen are kind of giving Unicorns maybe a good opportunity to do that against them.
Well, there's the two team comps once again, ladies and gentlemen. Day one, game one, Echo has been banned. Jump onto Twitter, let us know. Will the Unicorns of Love hand Origen their first loss of the summer split? Or will the young upstarts, full of old dogs, go 5-0? That's what we're going to find out.
Well, Unicorns, every time that question is asked of them, of can they do this, can they do that, they always say yes. Yes, we can. We can get ourselves into the positions to take second place in the spring split. They've always felt comfortable with that.
Well, we'll see if they can do it this time around. It does look like we have standard lane setups, at least in the first minute. No deep warding from either team. And we do see everybody covering off the respective entrances. Niels by the red buff. We see Mithy hanging out by the tri-bush, and the rest of UOL almost mirroring.
And speaking of Mithy, this is the first time we've seen him on this Nautilus, but it goes very well with the style of champions he's played. He's played the Alistar, he's played the Thresh, and as a result, these very active champions in teamfights have granted Mithy the highest amount of assists for a support. He's currently sat on 68 assists. Now, to put that in perspective, that is higher than the entire assist pool of Gambit as a team. So I expect a lot out of Mithy from this game.
I heard a few stunned faces in the audience, and we need to see how Mithy handles himself. And I really want to keep my eye on Peke as well. I feel as this game goes later, if it goes later, there'll be a lot of pressure on Peke in these team fights to land a good shockwave. And we'll have to see how well he can handle this late game scaling. We do see Amazing in the jungle, playing Gragas, of course. It is the only champion that retains the 100% pick ban ratio. But look at those stats. There's 21 KDA. Not the greatest kill participation, but you know what? He doesn't need it because the team's 4-0.
The team are 4-0, and that makes this 100% win rate for Amazing fairly cut and dry on that one. So you can tell that Unicorns of Love, with that draft, allowing the Gragas through, they had to know what they were dealing with. It was going to be a very high priority pick for Origen. So Kikis, he's never one to shy away from a tough matchup, though.
Definitely not the case. And you know, it really is just a testament to the number of powerful champions that are available in the current patch. Cogboard not necessarily considered as strong as some of the others, but Azir went unpicked, unbanned, considering how high priority was, and Origen opted to ban the Cogmore over the likes of Cassio, over the likes of Ryze, out of respect for Power of Evil.
Yeah, we'll have to see how that indeed plays out for Origen. But one thing I want to touch on, Origen looked to have initiated this lane swap. And now, that's a little bit interesting when you take into account that one of the ways of dealing with Fizz as a solo laner, especially in the long lane, is to swap into him. And at this point, yes, they want to avoid the Kalista and the Thresh a little bit, but now they're putting a lot on Soaz's back, because Fizz is not going to be able to farm very easily in this kind of setup.
Well, I did see Soaz play Hecarim last week and Rumble the week before. I think he's got a pretty big, strong back to work off. Definitely stepped up and surprised, but we do see a mirror 4v0 in the top half of the map in favor of Origen. It is almost mirrored by Unicorns of Love down bottom.
Yeah, Origen were faster to the punch on this one, though, so Unicorns clearly a little behind the curve on this kind of setup. Yes, they will be able to get damage done, but look, Origen already have that tower down beneath a quarter of its health here. Looks like they're peeling away just to try and slow down this push, though. They don't want to end up having the wave in a really awkward place when Niels is going to have to come forward for too much farm.
So we'll find out how well they can kill this wave off and whether or not it will bounce. It does look to be the case as minions are being killed away. And we did see, not only did Origen start the swap and start the 4v0, I feel the Unicorns of Love mirrored it relatively well. They responded within a few seconds and do seem to be equalizing the trade of towers, keeping that global gold very even in a moment or two. Once Vardags, ooh, unable to kill the tower, but it should go down if he sticks around.
Sivir is coming across, and Nautilus coming through the jungle. So if Vardags goes for this, he puts himself in at least another tower shot. He has to back away and respect the fact that Origen beat them. And this is just purely down to the amount of time that Origen spent getting this set up for themselves. And Unicorns are being a little bit late. Vardags, that's a dangerous area to check into.
Why are you face checking? Vardags gets caught by the dredge line. He's trying to hop backwards, but that was changed recently. And Mithy decides not to flash forward. So, Vardags, unable to take the tower, means gold is not even, and he's going to back with Niels and Mithy shoving in that bottom lane.
Yeah, now you've got to try and counteract the Sivir pushing, and anytime you step forward in that lane, the Nautilus is going to be all over you. Take into account the look at where Hylissang has been at on the map. He's one of the more active supports when it comes to roaming. He was all the way mid and top, and I believe crossed a little bit of vision on the way up there. So Origen know that there's nobody down here, and they've basically done a very similar push here into this bottom lane at the same time. Now Kikis is waiting around in the mid lane as well. The problem is, Peke isn't the type of player that's going to step forward greedily here. He knows he's playing Orianna and just needs to get himself through this laning phase safely so the Power of Evil doesn't get ahead.
Well, Kikis says you will not get out of this safely. Does get a knock-up, but Peke, Command Protect actually mitigates almost all of that damage. But I think we really have to go back to this mistake from Vardags, or mistiming might be a better word. Because with Vardags not taking that bottom tower and knowing how much wave clear Sivir and Nautilus have between them, it's going to be such a long time before that bottom tower falls, as long as Origen play the lane correct.
Yeah, that's very much so the case is now. It was only a minor timing error out of the Unicorns of Love, and they will get that tower sometime down the line in the future, but certainly for now it's not kind of the gold generation tool that they were hoping to get from that. It's a lot to do with the fact that Origen were the ones initiating the 4v0, so that Unicorns ever so slightly didn't have the exact timings on it. So at this point, it's not too much of an issue for them, but certainly this rise in the top lane could become an issue for Origen.
Well, got that CS stacking already, a very small CS lead. Not that it really matters, because Soaz has got a very big minion wave to deal with. You see Power of Evil, small advantage in the middle lane, and Niels, as is traditional, he's built himself up some CS. So Soaz did throw down that challenging smite, but didn't have the support of Amazing. That means that gank was somewhat thwarted. Death Sentence onto the big diver, doesn't connect.
Not quite the right area, but not quite far enough from Hylissang. But that's one thing that the reason that Thresh is banned away from him is Hylissang's skill shot supports tend to be very good at catching people out when they're not quite aware in lane. So I don't expect Mithy to get caught out that much. He has shown that in lane he is a fairly aggressive but also safe at the same time support. He knows when to trade very effectively, so I don't expect Hylissang to be catching him all that much.
Intelligently aggressive, if you will. As we're coming up to 7.5 minutes, the lanes have standardized. It's just that one tower down and the duo down bottom. Pops up top. And I also want to see how Peke decides to build this Orianna. Got himself a chalice, but we have actually seen Luden's Echo Oriannas coming out from the east. And we'll see whether or not Peke subscribes to the same methodology, considering, you know, the Fizz has come out. It's not exactly new at this day, at this time. We've seen those top lane smites sort of fall out of favor, but obviously Soaz and Origen feel it could work against this rise.
We may see it another reason, because anytime you put Fizz into a team composition, or generally any melee champion, you always will kind of lack wave clear. So yes, you've got a Sivir, but if multiple lanes start getting pushed out, Orianna needs to be able to go ahead and clear another wave. So we'll look for that as we get later into this game.
I'm glad you bring that up though, because actually Unicorns of Love have got relatively low-range, risky wave clear as well. Unlike Sivir and Orianna, who can stay a little safer. Cassio, Ryze, Kalista need to get in range of a Kragus barrel or a Fizz ulti if they want to clear wave safely on the towers.
I mean, as long as the Unicorns play it smartly, Cassiopeia is going to be able to clear the wave in front of them very comfortably. And then Vizicachi, the matchup against Soaz is dependent on the playful Trickster, whether he can 1v1, but Ryze is very comfortable later on into the game to just sit there and say, well, you're never going to push against me, so I can just clear it at my own speed.
Yeah, and something else we saw, that desperate power ultimate just for the AoE.
Yeah.
Just throw down the R, get the cooldown reduction working in your favor, and still have it available for the next team fight. So we've had a slow start to this, and this is something that we've not actually seen from Origen. They've been pedal to the metal in all 4 of their previous games.
Yeah, they know they have to be a little bit careful when it comes to how they play against Unicorns, just because how good Unicorns tend to be at turning things around. But this slow start, if the game continues this way, it is going to heavily benefit the Unicorns. With this double-tier composition, they want time to stack up. They need to get themselves later into the game, but Origen don't look like they want to let them get there. Yes, Origen are very controlled right now, but look on the map. Ooh, this time actually Soaz pushing a little too far forward.
He's been rooted in place by the Rune Prison. Kikis has decided to follow. Chum the Waters comes up, and Soaz manages to sidestep the knock-up, but it's blizzasc2 that flashes for first blood.
I was kind of wondering how Origen were going to pressure this top side with the tower down. They were looking for Chachi to push forward, but it was Soaz that goes aggressive, and a little uncharacteristically aggressive into the enemy jungle, and good read by Unicorns. They catch him out easily.
Well, uncharacteristic for the team, because Origen, that was the first time they've given up first blood. Mithy's in trouble now as he's trading hook damage for hook damage. hylissang and Mithy both down 50%, but here comes Amazing. Teleport from Chachi's coming in. Vardax is already down. hylissang flays them away, but Unicorns are in retreat. The explosive cask knocks Unicorns away, and it looks like hylissang survives by the skin of his teeth. And Origen reply in kind with a kill of their own.
Nice teleport play out from Origen, getting Soaz back onto the map as fast as possible, knowing that they had the numbers advantage bottom lane. This may actually not be over, as Origen could look to go out towards the Dragon Pit, or at least try and catch out Kikis if they're looking for it. But Soaz actually dropped very low from that. You can see just how much presence blizzasc2 has on this rise. All he's got to do is start landing crowd control under that turret. It becomes a much more dangerous environment for Origen to actually survive in. You saw the chain combo of the Rune Prison out of Rise and then the hook from hylissang. If they can continue to do that, Origen are going to get slowed down in those engagements.
They certainly can. Rise, of course, going to have a very, very quick cooldown on that Rune Prison. hylissang, definitely known for his ability to impact the game. So, 11 minutes, 1-1. That tower and bottom still not falling from Origen. Of course, Unicorns of Love unable to shove it in. CS slightly in favor of Unicorns of Love. Small advantage for Chachi. Small advantage for Power of Evil. Only a small advantage for Niels in reply, but obviously that tower helping Origen keep the gold lead.
Speaking of that small advantage for Power of Evil in the middle lane, I believe this is the first time we've ever really seen Power of Evil versus xPeke, especially here in the LCS. So he is showing he can get a small laning lead, but xPeke is going out to the Wraiths and the Raptors at the same time. But it's bottom lane that there's a little bit more action in. Just saw Mithy kind of fly across the minimap looking for a hook, but couldn't connect with anything off it. Neither could hylissang.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned the Peke versus Power of Evil. We'll need to touch on that in a second, as the junglers have found one another. Kikis has knocked up Amazing and put a lot of damage in reply. Body slam into Cask. Here comes attack and shockwave from Peke. He's chasing down Kikis. Red buff is available. Amazing has no flash. The body slam goes forward. The tunnels throw him away, and the unexpected happens as Kikis survives. Amazing is now caught out, and Power of Evil flashes for the poison power kill.
Power of Evil was second to Rome in that situation, but he still has more impact just because Kikis managed to get his tunnel network working for himself. He gets himself all of the way out of that. Now Peke might be in a little bit of trouble. No ultimate from Power, but if they get a Rune Prison before Peke gets there, which they can't quite land, so Peke is okay there. But good reaction by Origen overall. They know Unicorns desperately want that bottom tower, so they swap their duo lane out to the mid tower and keep their tower advantage up in favor of Origen. Kikis has joined the party in the top side, though. He's looking for the knock-up.
Well, he finds the knock-up, he gets the Furious Bite down, and Peke forced to flash. So what has this cost Origen? They managed to secure the tower in the middle lane, at the cost of their tower in the bottom lane, and potentially top if another minion wave gets in. Soaz, he wants to land a nom-nom fishy onto Vardax. Amazing is coming from the jungle. This could work out. It's the Death Bush that Soaz made famous years ago, and here comes Amazing. No explosive cost. Soaz, he lands the Chum the Waters. Oh, hasn't even used it, rather. It was Playful Trickster. Doesn't even have Chum the Waters available. Gonna carry on running hylissang down. Flay goes away. Soaz looking for a target, but they've got a ward in the bush. The Fat Man lands the body slam, but the explosive cask pulls him backwards. Amazing with the prediction shot. 2 more kills to Origen and they start off Dragon.
Dragon swipes its wings and says, nope, you're not using me as an escape. That was this Unicorns overstaying in the bottom lane. I don't actually know why they do that, because you lose your mid tower, you don't have wards in the jungle, and yet you stand in front of a tower and just allow Origen to get a very easy flank. They'd shoved the wave in and now they're catching Power.
While Power's in trouble, Power is down. Dragon was secured. You can see the number of average dragons across the board. Slightly slower for Origen, but neither of teams this split have been able to secure that 5th dragon buff. So we're back to the 1,000 gold advantage in favor of the newest challenger team from the oldest players in the LCS.
I was wondering where you're going with that. Newest challenger team. We've got 3 more this week into challenger, but this game is LCS, Trevor, and I'm enjoying watching Origen because in this game, what they've done so well is everything they've given to Unicorns of Love, they've made sure they take twice as much within the next 2 or 3 minutes, because Origen forgo the bottom tower, get mid lane instead. They give up a kill or 2 in the top lane, and they know that Power of Evil's flash is down. They recapitalize on it using the Nautilus ultimate as well, and it's something they've been very good at, but this is the first time, as you said, that they were the team to give away first blood. It doesn't look like it's affected them in the slightest.
Definitely not, and Crepper was actually talking about Origen earlier today on the preview of the matches, and he highlighted how he felt Origen just had such great macro-level decision-making when looking at the bigger picture, looking at the entire map. And despite Origen giving up a flurry of kills, they're the ones in the lead. But you need to keep an eye on those CS numbers, guys. Soaz is continuing to fall behind Ryze, which is a terrifying statement. But luckily for them, Niels has got a solid advantage over Fardax, and we'll see if Niels' utility can buffer Soaz's slightly weaker item build and farm values.
The question is, how does this lead translate as you go later into the game and it starts expanding into team fights? Because we know what Ryze can do, we've seen what Fizz can do in other leagues, but it's all going to be about getting a teleport behind them and using his mobility to get into the backline as well. You can see that Soaz is actually down in the bottom lane because he has teleport available. Chachi does as well, but he's actually going top side. No dragon available for either team, so this is kind of this moment where it's all about wave control. You've got to set up the next couple of objectives for the team, but looks like Unicorns are looking to be the proactive team in this case.
So let's see whether or not Soaz can teleport in. Doesn't need to farm CS when he can farm champions at 3-1 and 1. 16 minutes on the clock. We see 2 Cinderhulks on the side of Origen. Let's deal slightly less damage in those team fights as it was changed a couple patches ago, but it's a lot of scaling HP on the 2 of them, and then you're going to add Nautilus into the fray. Pretty big beefy front line for Origen if they stand toe-to-toe with Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, that's very much so. And although Soaz, while he will act as a tank, he will be diving into the backline. It's one of the weird things is Fizz has very good base damages, and the damage amplification that comes from his ultimate just allows him to get all the way into the backline and start dealing a lot of damage to squishy targets. Factor in the Cinderhulk as well. It's weird to think that you can have a tank-level assassin-style champion, but certainly Fizz is fulfilling that role across some of the other regions right now.
So, Stress, the game has slowed down just a little bit as the teams continue to farm up the side lanes, farm up the mid lane. We're getting close to 20 minutes, and Origen coming into this week had actually built themselves up an average of 4.1 thousand gold lead over their opponents. They're currently sitting just over 2,000. So we'll need to see whether or not they can accelerate that just a little more. Fans at home definitely feeling Origen have the advantage, but, you know, it's just interesting to see how Unicorns have been able to keep them back just a little less than before the teams they've faced.
Yeah, I mean, there's still about a minute and a half to go, so that anything can happen. But honestly, a lot of this gold lead is stemming, as you said, from Niels. Just constantly farming, constantly, all the time. And Varlax isn't doing that either. They're donating or giving a lot of the farm over to Power of Evil and Vizichachi right now as they move lane to lane. So Varlax is the player right now. They actually need to be stronger at this point in the game. Yes, if Power of Evil is very strong, or Ryze is very strong at this point, they can still deal a lot of damage, but Kalista is going to be fairly necessary part of these team fights when it comes to dealing out damage to Origen this early.
So let's see whether or not Pekka can find himself a good command shockwave. 1 minute until the next dragon. Origin able to secure it after punishing Vardex and Hylissang for some poor positional decision-making, and now they're getting some vision control.
And there's another one. The reason they can get all of this vision control is because Kalista was spotted in the top lane, and that allows Origin to know they have the numbers advantage. Fizz, again, with the teleport down in the bottom lane, he can join the fight. Origin know they have full security in this time to de-ward this area. They've left a one ward up in this bush, and they're trying to encircle the Unicorns, but I think it might be a bit of a trap from the Unicorns.
Well, we'll see. You see Amazing, he's body slammed over the wall. The dredge line connects onto Hylissang. He's going to flay him in. The barrel knocks everybody into the box, and the shockwave catches too. Peke manages to sidestep the Fate's Call, but he does not sidestep the death sentence. Amazing comes with a fat belly back in, and Peke survives a few seconds longer. It's a 2-for-1 in favor of Origin, and Niels is landing those ricochets over and over. We do see Amazing going low, and Soaz is looking for some snake. The eel is eaten, and Hylissang, the man that started it all, will be the man that ends it all. 2 for 5, and Origin with the team fight win.
A great, well-balanced team fight from Origin. They get it a little engaged upon by the Unicorns, even hold Soaz teleport until very late in that fight, but they knew the shockwave was coming from Peke. Amazing with the follow-up on the engage again. Origin really just well-balanced team fight from them.
Definitely. 20 minutes has just ticked by, and Origin say we will stick to our averages. They've got over 4,000 gold in the lead. Put themselves very, very solidly into this mid-game. We do see the Dragon has spawned. All of Origin have backed, but it doesn't look like Unicorns are rushing there just yet, although I do take that back.
Yeah.
They seem to be moving.
Kikis used his ultimate to stop Amazing from recalling, but this is the fight. And keep your eyes on Soaz in the bottom lane of how late his teleport was, because Origin just a really nice counter engage. That ultimate from Amazing completely disrupted Unicorn's flow as they came into this, and look how fragmented this team fight is. Power of Evil's going backwards, Hylissang's landing a hook, and yes, they're getting a couple of kills, or a kill here and there, but from this, Origin just have so much health because there are a good few members of the Unicorns that are just not outputting damage. For all of the last 2 or 3 seconds, Power of Evil was outputting almost 0 damage. And Origin will clean up that team fight every single time if it's given to them.
Well, Power of Evil just slithering around, not having the impact he was hoping for. While the replay was on, Dragon was secured by Unicorns of Love. Niels, Mythy, Amazing, they're looking for more, and they catch Vardex, knocking him out of range of that lantern. So, just to quickly reiterate, 4 towers to 2, 10 kills to 4, 5,000 gold in the lead for Origin. But Unicorns did get that first Dragon, which will help them if this game goes later. Give them that 6%.
Well, you said a 4,000 gold lead at 20 minutes.
Yep.
A little bit more than that just after 20 minutes. So, Soaz wants himself a fight, but Vizichachi is here as well. Actually, all of Unicorns are here.
Well, that's a 3-man knockup from that dredge line mine. Kikis comes back in. The barrel blows Power of Evil up. And Peke and the rest of Origin find another kill on Kikis. This means Baron.
And this is a massive, massive problem for the Unicorns right now, because they're playing a composition that wants to scale, but now they're just giving gold constantly over to Origin. Every single time a fight like this happens, it's getting cleaner and cleaner for the Origin lineup. Now Hylissang wants him, and he's going to die as well. That's Baron plus another kill. Now Origin can look for more towers, because I don't even think Unicorns really want this re-engage.
Well, they certainly don't. Chachi's in trouble. Niels is running him down. The dredge line connects, and Niels gets a killing spree. 5 Barons leading up to today. That should be number 6 if my math is correct. Origin, they really know how to press an advantage, and in 4 minutes, they went from 2,000 gold lead to 9,000 gold lead and Baron buff.
Well, it all stems from Origin basically saying to the Unicorns, you guys like chaos? How about we give you some ordered chaos? Because we're just going to have these team fights exactly how we want them, which is clean and calculated from Origin. Every time Unicorns of Love step forward, they're blasted into the Origin team and just completely taken from the map straight away. And it's something that's happening because of the vision control that Origin has. Look at the amount of wards just on your screen and then around the jungle in general from Origin. Yes, Unicorns have a couple here and there, but it's very, very difficult for the Unicorns to put themselves into advantageous situations. And they're just going to be hemorrhaging wards again and again, although this time they managed to get themselves a pink.
Oh, very well played from Origen. It's actually just incredible to behold. Level of play.
They want to go again.
Well, they find them, and look at the shockwave barrel combo. Peke, Niels, Soaz. It's a trio of kills, a tower to boot, and they want an inhibitor turret to follow.
This game has just gone from being somewhat close to absolutely in Origen's control right now. Look at how fast they're just shredding through this, and it's all been involved with the macro level decision making that Origen have showed. This isn't a game where you look at Unicorns and wonder what went wrong, because Origen have been what has gone so right in this game. Unicorns picked a scaling composition, and they've just lost a Nexus turret at 24.5 minutes. That is not something that can happen with this kind of composition where you end up winning.
What an exceptional performance from Origen. Hylissang's in trouble, doesn't manage to connect with the death sentence, forced to have the Fate's Call as a safety. Hylissang is out. Inhibitor down, Nexus turret down, 25 minutes. Origen, they're not stopping. 20% of Baron buff is left, and they are setting their sights on the mid lane turret. There's even minions on the bottom inner turret if they want it. Amazing, almost getting close to that explosive cast. We do see Peke, he's stunned up by the petrifying gaze. Chachi has eaten some Chum the Waters, and Vardax forced to flash to safety. Visit Chachi is down, Kikis will be next, and the kill credit goes to Niels. Soaz is keeping the attention of the Unicorns, 3 of them in bay. And Origen get another inhibitor, and whoopa! Peke misses the shockwave, eats a death sentence for Flare, and says, I don't care, as he leaves the base. Origen, it's all but done in this game.
This is beyond convincing from Origen, and you can take it all the way back to picks and bans. Origen said, we will give Unicorns their comfort champions in every single role, all the way down the line. Chachi's played Ryze. Haravival, one of his absolute top performing champions, is Cassiopeia. Vardax is comfortable on the Kalista as well. And Origen just said, okay, well, we know exactly how to beat that style. We know you'll go double scaling. We know you'll try and play for the late game. We've got a game plan for it. We'll execute it pretty perfectly.
Go a step further, perfectly.
Well, they gave away first blood.
The
first time in the league.
It was to bait the aggressive play.
It was
conscientious, but just such a great performance. And you know, for Origen, if you actually step back, they've got a few minutes before they close this one out. They started weeks 1 and 2 by taking down Giants, taking down Copenhagen Wolves. Then they took down the number 4 team from Spring SK. Then they took down the number 3 team from Spring, H2K. They're about to take down the number 2 team. And next week, they play the number 1 team. I don't even know if Fnatic can stop this.
Origen basically say, who's next? And if it happens that Fnatic can't quite stop it, then that becomes a very interesting question of who's next. Because Origen are looking so good.
Yes, they are. 27 minutes, they get their second dragon. Let's also remind everybody that Origen do have to play Rocket tomorrow, so one more game before they face Fnatic. And we'll see if both of those teams can make it into the matchup undefeated. Still a lot of game to be played. This one though, 14,000 gold. The Righteous Glories pop, on the hunt pop. We see the depth charge going out, the barrel going wide. Chachi's the first one to be focused, but it's Power that gives up his life. The depth charge, and the dredge line rather, connecting. 3 more kills for 3 more carries. Soaz, Peke, and Niels ring up just a couple more. They close the game at 28 minutes. Origen 5-0.
There's not a whole lot to say after a victory like that, if I'm being honest, when it comes to, you know, what could have gone differently. Origen just macro level. They're almost on another tier right now. When you look at how they're playing this game out and what they're giving away and what they're taking in return from it, I'm incredibly impressed, because it's something I didn't see casting them all the way through Spring in Challenger. It was the big question. Can they transfer that to beating top LCS teams? And as you said, 4th are down, 3rd are down, now 2nd are down from Spring Split. Origen, they are making a big case for themselves for Summer Split.
Origen seemed to be the super team everybody was expecting out of other teams. I mean, hard looks on the faces of the Unicorns of Love, because it's been a long time since they've been handed a defeat this heavy.
Yeah.
Unicorns of Love seldom look this out of sorts, but for Origen, for Leduc, we heard the pregame. Unicorns are difficult to prepare for. I think you're lying, because that was phenomenal. The top lane fizz, the playstyle, the unrelenting pressure just completely worked in favor of Origen.
I'm starting to wonder, because we talked about how Unicorns of Love, when it comes to their pick and ban phase, there are certain things that you can't predict, but it feels like Origen predicted every single pick here from the Unicorns, because maybe the Unicorns have gone a little too predictable when it comes to what they're going to play out of their solo laners. That's something that, you know, you could have put money on blizzasc2 picking Rise and the Cassiopeia being picked up for Power of Evil. Maybe they need to start shifting things up. I don't think it's what lost them the game as such, because Origen just played so much better.
I agree with you entirely. I actually agree. I think, you know, if you look at the pick priority, the Gragas was the first pick. Yeah. Still remains 100%. We knew Kalista was super high up there. There's only been one game out of 21 where the Kalista's not featured. We knew these picks were going to be a priority, and then, again, the in-game decision-making is completely separate to picks and bans, because I feel whatever comp Origen ran, the way they played today, I don't think there would have been anything that Unicorns of Love could have done. But that risky lack of wave clear. You can't get to mid to late game if you have no wave clear to stall with. And yes, Cassio can set up a lane. Yes, Rise can push a lane. But when it's 4v1, 4v3, you can't defend effectively enough.
Yeah, very difficult to defend. And honestly, it's kind of Unicorns going a little bit back towards their older playstyle, but we've seen that when they're on the sieging composition with the Cogmore, they work very well around their power spikes, around when they can fight. This game, they kind of went back to just fighting all of the time, and again, you can only have so many fights go against you before the other teams start absolutely dominating you.
Yeah, I agree. And I think if we